Welcome to House of Echo Fables. So, let's begin today's emotional story. My name is Mahima. I live in a small 2-acre house in North Najibabad with my mother and siblings. I never saw my father. He passed away before I was born. He was a government employee, and after his death, my mother raised the three of us on his pension. Both my brother and sister were older than me. As we grew up, our expenses also grew. My brother left school after matriculation and started working in a factory in the industrial area. His income, combined with a pension, brought some relief to our struggling household. We no longer had to wait until the end of the month to buy essentials. My brother had a habit of placing money directly into my mother's hands, and that made us feel secure, rich. Even I often wished my mother would spend a little on us too. I'd complain, couldn't we at least have meat twice a week? Now that we had income, couldn't we get better food, new clothes for winter and summer? But every time I asked, she would reply coldly, "This is your brother's money." Her words always stung. Was it so wrong to want to live a little better? I had never worn a nice dress to a school event. I'd skip school functions because I had no proper shoes or clean clothes. Sometimes I'd pretend to be sick. Other times I'd just stay silent, ashamed of my poverty. I kept telling myself, one day I'll study hard, get a job, and become independent. Then I'll fulfill all the dreams I've buried for so long. Finally, when my final board exam was over, I went to a nearby private school and asked the principal for a job. He agreed to hire me, though he could only pay 3,000 Indian rupees because of my low qualifications. I didn't care. It was more than enough for me. I rushed home and told my mother the good news, but instead of happiness, her face turned sour. "No girl in our family has ever worked," she said. "What will people say? That we're so poor even the daughter has to earn?" That made my blood boil. Where were these people when we barely had food? I shouted, "We've gone through winters with one set of clothes, missed school events for lack of shoes, and now you care what they'll say?" My mother was stunned into silence. My elder sister tried to stop me from arguing, but I kept speaking my heart. "I'll study further," I declared. "Even if I can't go to college regularly, I'll apply privately and study at home. But for that, I need money." Later that evening, my brother came home. He didn't say much, just gave me permission with a warning. "Go. But if I hear anything wrong, that'll be the last day you step out." His words were harsh, but I held my tongue. His permission, however reluctant, was enough. That night, tears filled my eyes. Why does my brother not understand me? I thought. Why assume I'll misuse my freedom? Sajda, my sister, hugged me gently. "Don't cry," she whispered. "You've got permission. That's what matters." But I had nothing decent to wear. When I told my sister Sadhvi, she smiled and said, "Wear my gray kurta and carry your school bag over it. No one will notice." I pouted. "But what's the point if the clothes are hidden?" She laughed. "Silly girl, It'll save you the pressure of wearing something new every day. Just wait. Soon you'll buy your own clothes." She was right. And so I began my job. The school wasn't perfect. The principal was unpredictable and often insulted me for minor things. But each time I received my 3,000 Indian rupees salary, all the insults faded. When my exam results came, I applied for private college. I kept saving every rupee because in private schools, teachers could be dismissed anytime for minor errors. I had seen 2 teachers get fired this way. No job security, no empathy, but I kept going. One day, I thought I'll find something better. Then came a marriage proposal for my sister Sajda. It was the first time I saw real happiness on her face. The family wasn't rich, but they seemed kind and down to earth. We agreed. My mother started saving money for Sajda's dowry, and soon she was married, but life wasn't kind to her. Her in-laws began mocking her disability. Her one shorter leg made her walk slightly uneven, but it was nothing a pair of heeled shoes couldn't fix. Still, her husband kept humiliating her until, eventually, he divorced her. She came home with 3 daughters and no hope. My brother's wife hated it. My mother stayed silent. I begged Amy to be kind, but she avoided eye contact. Was my sister supposed to starve now? I couldn't let that happen. I heard of an air hostess job on a private line. With my looks and skills, I got selected within a week. The salary was far better. Sajda and I were both overjoyed. I used to give her money secretly, even bread to feed the children, but Amy didn't like it. One day, she complained to my brother, and from then on, they began locking the kitchen. I couldn't believe it. Even my mother had sided with them. That's when I decided. We are on our own now. Despite opposition, I continued working as a hostess. It was tough, but I stayed strong. Then, temptation crept in. Rich passengers left their belongings unattended, mobiles, wallets, purses. And one day I took one. I hid it carefully and nobody noticed. It became a habit. I justified it to myself. I'm not stealing for myself. I'm doing this for my sister's children, to give them a life they deserve. But then the complaints started piling up. Management grew suspicious. One day, they came to my house and searched my bag. I was terrified. This is the end, I thought. But to my shock, they suddenly began apologizing. I didn't understand until I looked into my own bag. Someone had placed a small rose-shaped kulsi inside. A divine sign. That day, I broke down in tears.
Ya Allah.
You saved me that I had been walking a dangerous path. But God gave me one last chance. I promised never to stray again. That day, I was reborn. Sometimes, desperation leads us down dark roads. But if we are sincere, Allah shows us mercy, even when we don't deserve it. This was Mahima's story, a story of struggle, dignity, and redemption. Until next time, keep watching House of Echo Fables, where every story echoes a life lesson.